let's be honest. If you're a Cardano holder, things have been, well, frustrating lately. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise. We'll look at why everyone's feeling the way they are. We'll dive into what the charts might be telling us is coming next. And then we're going to explore three massive, game-changing catalysts that could completely reshape Cardano's future.
So, here's the plan. First up, we're tackling that frustration head-on. Then, we're going to decode the charts to get a technical perspective. After that, we'll look at three huge catalysts on the horizon. And finally, we'll ask the big one, the $600,000 question. All right, let's just dive right in. To really understand where Cardano might be headed, we first have to get real about where it is right now. And for a lot of people, that's a place of serious frustration.
I mean, let's just put it out there. If you've been watching the price of ADA, chances are you're nodding your head right now. And believe me, you are not the only one feeling that way. And this is the reason why. A 32% drop in just 1 month? Yeah, that's tough for anyone to stomach. It's the number that's really fueling all this anxiety in the market.
But here's the thing, it's not just a Cardano problem. This is happening across the entire crypto market. Right now, fear and uncertainty are in the driver's seat. There's just not a lot of new money flowing in, and a lot of that speculative hype, it's jumped over to things like AI stocks. All while you have hundreds of billions of dollars just sitting on the sidelines in stablecoins, waiting for the right moment to jump back in.
Okay, so the frustration is real and totally understandable. But let's shift gears now. Let's move away from the emotion and look at the cold, hard data. What are the charts actually telling us? So there's this one key signal that analysts are pointing to, and it's called bullish divergence. Now, it sounds kind of technical, but the idea is actually super simple. It's when the price of something is hitting new lows, but the indicator that measures its momentum is actually starting to creep up. It's this little disconnect that often screams, hey, a reversal might be just around the corner. And what's so incredible is that for Cardano, this isn't just some theory. It's happened before. We saw this exact same 3-day bullish divergence 2 years ago, and what followed? A 229% rally. And then it happened again more recently in November of 2023, right before a massive 359% surge. So history shows that this specific signal has been a powerful launchpad for ADA. Right, so that brings us to the $1,000,000 question, or, the $1.94 question. If this signal is flashing again, what could we realistically be looking at based on what's happened in the past? Well, analysts have kind of mapped out two main scenarios. The first one is based on the average of those last two big rallies. That suggests a potential jump of about 294%, which would put the price right around $1.30. The second scenario is a bit more optimistic. It works on the idea that these rallies are getting stronger each time, and it projects a 489% increase, which would target a price of about $1.94. Now, the charts are cool for the short-term picture, but the real long-term potential of Cardano, that's all tied to its fundamentals. And on that front, there are three massive catalysts on the horizon that could be absolute game changers. Those three big ones are a spot ETF, a huge boom in stablecoins on the network, and maybe the biggest idea of all, unlocking the world of DeFi for Bitcoin itself. First up, the ETF. Just like we saw with Bitcoin, a Cardano ETF would basically be an open door. It creates a simple, regulated way for the really big money, we're talking institutional capital, to finally pour into ADA. It could unlock a whole new level of demand. And get this isn't just some far-off dream. Bloomberg analysts are putting the odds of a spot Cardano ETF approval at a whopping 90%. So this isn't a maybe, it's a very real, very likely catalyst. All right, catalyst number 2, the stablecoin explosion. You see, stablecoins are basically the lifeblood of any DeFi ecosystem. They're like a Trojan horse. They bring massive amounts of stable liquidity onto a blockchain that can then be used for everything else. And this is a huge area of growth for Cardano. And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, Cardano's founder Charles Hoskinson thinks the stablecoin market could be a $1 to $2 trillion industry by 2030. Imagine Cardano grabbing just a small slice of that pie. It'd be transformative. Now for catalyst number 3. And honestly, this might be the most ambitious, mind-blowing idea of them all. The goal is for Cardano to become the yield layer for Bitcoin. What does that mean? It means using Cardano's tech to bring things like lending, borrowing, and earning interest to all the capital that's just sitting on the Bitcoin network. It's about unlocking the biggest crypto network on the planet. And to understand just how enormous this is, look at this number. If Bitcoin eventually surpasses the market cap of gold, its network could be worth around $22 trillion. The ultimate dream for Cardano is to become the main highway for all that value to flow into decentralized finance. So, this all brings us to our final section, where we try to imagine what that ultimate bull case, that grand vision, could actually mean for a regular investor. This is the $600,000 question, literally.
You know, Charles Hoskinson himself has thrown out some pretty wild numbers, saying that ADA has the potential to do a 100x or even a 1000x. Sounds crazy, right? But is there any math that could even get us into that same zip code? Okay, so let's do some really speculative blue sky math here. If, and it's a big if, Cardano could somehow capture the value of that $22 trillion Bitcoin network, well, the numbers get staggering. You divide that by Cardano's current market cap, and you get a potential multiplier of 893 times. It's an absolutely astronomical figure, but it shows you the sheer scale of the ambition. So what does an 89.3x return even look like in the real world? Well, an investment of about $700 today to buy 1,080A could, in this wild ultimate bull case, become worth over $600,000. That means a price of $627 for a single ADA token. It's just a mind-boggling idea. And that brings us right back to the beginning. On one hand, you have the current frustration. On the other, you have bullish chart signals and these absolutely colossal long-term catalysts. So the question is, does all of this add up to one of the biggest crypto opportunities of the decade? Or is it all just wishful thinking? The case has been made, but the future, well, that's still unwritten.